All right, both streams should be up and running. All right, and we got about 2 minutes, about a minute and a half until the close. So we'll see what the final numbers are. All right, but let's go ahead and get started. Good afternoon. This is Ifan from the Strategic Day Trader, and this is your market wrap for November 3rd, 2021. We did have FOMC today. They announced the rate decision to remain unchanged. Qs bullish, SPY bullish. We were already bullish on the Qs and SPY, but that really got things moving there. So you can see kind of the acceleration once that news came out. So what does that mean for tomorrow? Tomorrow now we are a bit extended. I am expecting us to pull back, but not bearish on the Qs and SPY. You can't really be bearish on a trend like this. As we talked about yesterday, it's a pretty healthy looking uptrend. Now there are times like here where we do get extended, right? So a pullback is expected. So especially if we, and here it is on the same, that was the same day on the Qs there as it was on the SPY. If we gap up, especially if we gap up in the morning, I would expect us to pull in a little bit. If we gap down a little bit, that may be all we get as far as a pullback. So that's really, we're just gonna have to see kind of what we get tomorrow. But we're balancing the fact that we are bullish on the larger time frames, bullish overall on the Qs and SPY, just a little bit extended, okay, after this accelerated move into the afternoon. Okay, so this is where Qs and SPY are going to close here. Basically up 1% for the Qs and 0.6 for the SPY. IWM up 1.79 and up to new all-time highs on the IWM. All right. All right. Let's go over today's plays here. I'm going to start with the BCRX. BCRX had to try this 3 times actually, and I'll kind of show you kind of how that ended up playing out here. So BCRX, let's start with the gap here first. BCRX gapping underneath the 200, breaking there. I like that the weekly has been pretty sideways here now, kind of ending the uptrend, right? There was the potential here that this was going to produce a lower high, and then today's gap down confirms that. So you see the weekly starting to roll over, pretty bearish gap down, also clearing some support there. Nice breakout failure there on the BCRX. So all of that, right, makes the case for why we would look for short opportunities in this. Now, right off the bat in the morning, it kind of came in here, and this is okay to play. I just find it's a little bit aggressive because it is coming off the highs, because the first thing it did was get bought. And so I want to see it reestablish the intraday downtrend and then look for a play. So I got it here. I got the base. I like that little bottoming tail, and then got triggered in right there. Okay, so underneath the low. So that's what I'm playing. 1 minute base breakdown, okay, as the 20 MA caught up. However, okay, as with any play, actually didn't work. All right, so my stop was above the base. It took out the base and continued up even a little bit more after that. Okay, so, you know, after the first 30 minutes, we switched to the 2 minute. So then on the 2 minute, and this one, I think some people did get filled in the room on this second play. Set up, but now a 2 minute base breakdown. This time it's going to be breaking, you know, underneath the low, so we're going to clear whatever issues we had before and looking lower. Well, this time I did not get filled. I had an order in. I think the limit I gave it 5 cents, I think, all the way to 13.09, and it was trying to get it under 13.14. Gave it all the way to 13.09. It didn't fill me. Okay, you can see this drop here goes from 13.14 to 12.96. Okay, and that's a 2 minute bar right there. So no fill, 0 shares filled, and was kind of disappointed, right? I mean, that's you can understand why. You know, I try it, it fills me fine. Well, I don't remember. This one might have been a little bit late as well, but just like a couple cents, not this kind of drop. And then now when it's going to work, it's not going to fill me, right? That's of course what I'm thinking. How frustrating and annoying, and I'm going to miss out on the play that I really wanted. So what it ended up doing though is basing some more, okay, long enough for the 5-minute to get caught up at least to the top of the base there. So just you can see price starting to level off a little bit. So even though I missed that previous breakdown, finally, or not finally, but I fortunately got another entry, played this 5-minute base breakdown there, and then targets were 2 hours, which it got to at around 12:25. So that was good. That could have been, if I had given up, been just a little bit less persistent. Yeah, would have really been the difference for the day. Because really, this I would still be down on. This was able to make 2 Rs on it, so more than recover what I lost on the initial play. So that kind of, that makes a pretty big difference. And especially just, if I'd maybe given up or just decided, the market hates me or whatever, then because this did end up being the nicest play for me today, the BCRX. Okay. We also played this Amrin in the afternoon. This wasn't really that big of a play. I think just like about an hour or so. We played this breakdown. I think the stop I used here was a bit too big. I played it this way. I would think this is probably should have been played this way, in which case you have twice as nice of a play. So did do that Amrin also. Okay. The other thing I wanted to talk about here was this HOLI. Okay, HOLI, huge gap down like today. Okay, because sometimes I'll get this question where when something like this happens, which the HOLI on this day said that they were getting acquired at $23. Okay, I'll get this question sometimes where people say, well, it's at $20. Should I just buy it because I'm going to be guaranteed $3? Okay, because the buyout's at 23. Right now it's trading at 20. Let's just say. I think what did it close at? Closed at 1987. I'll just say at $20. Okay. The reason that these don't trade at that price, exactly at that price, the reason there is that room is because there's potential that the play might not, that the buyout might not happen, that the acquisition is not a done deal. So there have been times where the buyer decided, no, I don't want to anymore. I changed my mind. Maybe they're willing to pay the penalty. There have been other times where the merger was not approved for whatever reason, legislation, maybe it creates a monopoly, or it's somehow harmful to the industry or something like that. So yeah, just keep in mind, I mean, the market is not that inefficient where you can just say, okay, I read the news, I see the price, $3 automatically in my pocket. Okay, you got to give the market and its participants more credit than that. Those kind of arbitrage opportunities are gone in less than a second, right? Because of the liquidity in the market, just the activity of the HFTs. You're not going to be able to say, okay, I read it or saw it on the news or whatever, and okay, there's just $3 there for me to pick up. Okay, so that's the reason that there's that discrepancy between if you see something that says, okay, it's a buyout for 23 a share, but it's trading at 20 or whatever, there's always that possibility that the deal falls through. Okay, so the reason I'm bringing that up is because that's what happened on the HOLI today. Okay, is that the deal could fall through. All right, so that's the reason. There's still some risk involved, which is why it's not exactly at the buyout price. Now the HOLI, a little bit tough. I mean, the gap is really, really nice. This is what we call an island reversal. You create the island and then you completely leave behind with the gap down. Yeah, I thought this was okay right here. I think in the morning it kind of came in. There weren't a lot of entries really to catch this. Yeah, that breakdown's okay. But I just wasn't as sure. I mean, the gap is really powerful, really impressive. But now that entry was back into where it was before the potential acquisition, made it a little bit trickier, but really powerful gap, really nice. And I just wanted to use this as an example and explain why, because I get this question sometimes where, should we just be buying this because, there's still $2 until the buyout price. And it's just because it's not always a done deal until it's really, really over and the merger's complete or or it's announced that it's falling through. Okay. All right. Hope you did well today. We'll be back at it tomorrow, and I will talk to you then. Have a good evening.